Hello and welcome back to Farming Simulator 22 and the Survival Series. Right, so it's now January. It looks like it's freezing outside, and there's supposed to be a lot of snow forecast over the next few months, so it's going to be difficult to actually get anything done apart from, well, maybe some logging. I think that's what we're going to have to focus on. All I've been doing really is just trying to tidy up, putting some bits away. As you can see as well, I've tried to put it under cover so it looks a bit better. And if I just jump over to the greenhouse area, you can see that I've started producing some strawberries. Now, I did have to put these on by super strength because I did try this, but again I had the same issue as I did before, which is that it just didn't pick it up at all. It just glitched out and everything. It was crazy. So what I had to do obviously was pick them up with super strength and place them on there. It's unfortunate, but I don't know if it is this wheel loader attachment or the wheel loader itself that's causing me the problem. Because I did see some comments of people saying that it works much better now, and actually the only issue is the planks, but now I'm seeing issues with the strawberries as well. But I am trying, and I will try and do picking up with the pallet fork if it works, but obviously right now it doesn't look like it is. So the actual pallets spawn about here, so I had to clear some of the trees that were here. There was only one big one, and the rest were just these small ones I could just chop down and then they disappear. But I've got these two here waiting for us to drag away and sell. And that's pretty much the main gist of everything that's gone on. There's not much else I can do. Now, I do want to show you something though. I have been doing some custom boundaries just for the fun of it. Two obviously are really useful. One's the grassland, and I have actually changed it from the last one I did. It's now extended out. So as you can see, it's fully extended out. This is pretty much the patch of grass I can use with the trees on one side and the trees on the other. So I have, if I go in here, I've called this grass fields. I've called this crop field 1. I'm going to call that my field 1. This is the one where obviously I've got a withered crop in. We haven't been able to do anything in yet because we haven't got the equipment. And then what I also did, just so I understand where the boundary of my farm is, I went around and just did a custom course of the boundary and then called it farm. It just shows me on the map whereabouts my farm is, whereabouts my crop field is, and whereabouts my grass field is. So I thought that was pretty cool, and definitely gives me a better layout of the land. So what we need to do in this episode is pretty much go and get that tool I wanted, and then we can focus on chopping down some trees. But first, what I've done is had a quick idea, and I think the best way for me to actually show you this is just to fly up in the air a second. So obviously this is my farm. The crop field's just down there, and the grass field is just over there. If you go around that bit and up the hill, and then the sawmill's over there. Now, these trees here are the ones that are originally on the map, and they're really good for chopping down, and they make quite a bit of money. And we've got quite a lot, like a dense forest area there, and it's just at the back of the farm. And I was thinking, if I ever want to expand this out and put some sheds in, obviously I've got a bit of space here. It kind of goes uphill there, so it'd be a bit awkward, but we could still place something. And then over here, depending on what we want to do, we've got some space, but obviously it's a bit more tricky because there's two little tiny ponds / lakes, whatever you want to call them. I don't know if they're big enough for a lake, and I don't know if they're small enough for a pond, but they're kind of like in between. So the idea that I've had, if I just jump and take this off, is to make a clearing here. I'm going to chop down this tree, that tree, probably the two small ones, and then this. So there's like 5 trees there, 2 little ones and 3 big ones. And I'm going to make a track here, delete the fence off, probably quite wide, and then we'll make a clearing into here. We'll start chopping some trees down, and then eventually it's nice and flat. We can put in some sheds, and I think it'll look pretty good because it'll be enclosed by some obviously woodland areas, depending on how far we go into it. We don't want to go too far. Now I do think the grass field's probably in that direction, so at the end of the day this is our land and we can chop it down. But I think that will make a pretty good area to start building some placeables eventually when we get the money. But the only way we're going to get money is to generate it, and I think the best way to do that, like I said, is to start doing some chopping down of these trees. And if we drag them with that tool, it'll make things a lot easier. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get into the construction mode, and we're going to delete out the fence so we can actually get a bit of a bearing of what we want to do here. I think the track can just go directly like that way. In fact, we could always just paint the track in now so we know. And if we try and make it, let's say, there we go, it's there, it is there. It's Sometimes this happens where you can't actually see anything. I don't know if it's because of where I'm standing. I think it might be, you know. I don't know why that happens, but if you're standing there, it does have an issue. So we want painting, and then we'll go with this. Just a bit of a dirt track. It doesn't have to be fancy, but it just gives us a good indication where we're putting it. Let's make that a little bit bigger. Round it off at that side. Get rid of that. And I think if we just move it through that way, and that'll be fine. We can clear out that little bit of the edge. Narrow that up. I think that's fine. I mean, it's not perfect. We'll tidy that up a bit better eventually, but it just gives me a good indication now of where I'm aiming for. And also, we can delete out this fence, probably that one, and that one. I think that's spot on. So now we've got an actual area we can drive through and expand out to. And I will tidy that up. I'll make it look a lot better. The track, hopefully a bit more realistic. So first things first, let's chop down these trees so we've actually got something to drag when we purchase the tool. Never easy to do this one. Some of these trees can be a pain, but as soon as we get rid of these 5, we should be alright. So let's try and tidy this up a bit. Get rid of that. And that one. You see, they're all like little sticks, so the best thing to do is try and just clean them off, and then just try and drag the trunk itself. That's my aim anyway. But it's never easy with this. So I'll carry on with this. I'll get these ones sorted out. Obviously I'm going to get rid of the small ones at the back, but we'll try and keep at least some of this, a bit like what I've done here, and then the majority of that, we'll cut that down properly, because that's going to be a good tree. So I'll crack on, and then we should have something to drag away when we go and buy the tool. Right, so there we go. I think that looks much better. You can see what I'm trying to do now. I've cleared enough, and we'll probably start tackling this tree. I'm going to leave this one here. Anything close to the edge like this one as well. But we'll start chopping down, like going out that way. Especially these. These are real good money earners. These massive ones. And they're easy to chop down. These can, well, they're not difficult, but they're a pain because of the fact they've got so many branches on that you have to chop as well. But I've chopped them up, and I think a good enough size to drag around. And we have got a few now. I'm just hoping that I can drag them directly straight into this over here, the log burner, to sell. And if not, we can always take them down to the shop and sell them there. But it would make things easier if we can just drag them here. But I know this actual trigger is quite small, and if we have to chop them up, we will. But if we can drag them to here and then just chop them up into bits we can pick up, we can make a pile here and then obviously sell them. So I've sent down the John Deere to the shop. He's nearly there, so we can start. Whilst we're in here, we may as well buy the tool that I'm after. So first things first, used equipment. Is there any deals on? There's a nice Ford. Problem is it's only an 8% discount, and everything else I don't think we quite need yet. Nothing's in our price range except that, probably. I'm not entirely sure what we're going to call it, but it's pretty useful. This is what we want. 4,500. There we go. £344 left. Not much. So we best earn some money, because if we want to start using Courseplay and auto drive like we are now, it's starting to cost us quite a bit. So let's just stop him in his tracks. There we go. Let's get hooked up to this. Now I imagine the controls are pretty much similar to what they were in FS19, but I will have a quick look, just in case they're not. There we go. So there's the winch, as you can see, and then what you do is you just attach as multiple logs as you want to. There is no cap or limit on it, but what it does do is make things a lot easier, because you don't have to put them in a trailer or chop them up into certain pieces. You can actually just drag them around, It really does make things much easier on a survival series when you're doing logging. So I'll head back down and we'll go try it out. Right, so I've just tested it out and it's still the same control, so I just have to press B on the keyboard and it'll attach just like that. So now what should happen is I should just be able to drag these, hopefully reasonably, without hitting any of my equipment, but we'll find out. Oh, yeah, not like that. That's what you don't want to do. That. There you go. Just put a dent in it. It's only a small dent. And then what we basically need to do now, I think there's a way of winching them closer. Now I can't remember what that button is now. Let's just check. It's been a while since I've used this, but I tell you one thing, it is really fun. So Z. So if you use Z, you can start winching them closer to you, which makes things easier when obviously you're trying to get slightly accurate. And you can just do multiple. If you've got like a really powerful tractor, you can probably pull about 50 if you wanted to. I know that F1 menu was a bit hectic then, but hopefully it'll go in a second. So obviously we're nowhere near, but let's see if that'll go in. No, not quite there yet. So what we can do now is, I think it's Shift B if I remember. There we go. So now obviously we can just chop it into hopefully sizes we can handle, and then just quickly sell these two. If you had obviously the distance, let's say, and it was a bit easier to the store, you could just drag them all the way. If you had like a fast track that would do it with ease, then you could just drag them all the way, and it'll save you a lot of time and effort in chopping these down into pieces. But currently, because of where we are, this is probably, I'd say, about right. And if we just stack them up here, this will sell. I don't know if I'll be able to still pick this up. No, it's a heavy one. Not entirely in the middle there. Right, so I'm guessing now I can pick all four of these up. I can throw them in. And fingers crossed we get a nice bit of money for this. I don't know how much, but we should get some. I'm going to say £500. 760. There you go. Says it all. Well worth it. So we're now already over £1,000. And we didn't have to do much there. We just winched it. Yes, we had to chop it up into bits, but it's better than chopping it up into bits, putting it in a trailer, bringing it over to there, and so on. I prefer it this way. So all we need to do now is just align ourselves with these and do the exact same thing. So I think as well, by doing this, we're going to make enough money to go and get some equipment to start work on that field just at the right time as well. So B on that one, B on that one. Let's say B on that one. I mean, you want to try and get it on the edge, obviously, because you're going to be pulling it. This is going to be difficult, this one, but you know what? Let's have a go. And there we go. I think that's every single one. Let's see what happens now. Oh, he missed one. How did I miss that? Can I winch it all the way from here? Because I can't be reversing that. No, too far away. I mean, I don't really want to be reversing, do I? Let's be honest. No, we'll have to come back for that one. And let's just hope we can get these out the gate. Well, they have straightened up a little bit, but they're obviously swinging around. We can get rid of the F1 menu now. I might be able to line this up, you know. Somewhat, anyway. Go on. I wonder if that's good enough. It might just be a case of positioning it. Shift B on that. And there we go. Right, so we just sold the majority of it, but not all of it. And if we just chop in the middle of this one, we should be able to pick that up. So still, it's quite a bit of work, but it is definitely an improvement on what we had and the amount of time and effort we'd have to put in previously. This is an upgrade. How's that still too heavy? There we go. Still think that's outside the trigger. I bet that one doesn't sell there. So that tree was a lot less money. For the amount that we just took, we got a lot less. But I know that tree that we're going to aim for, which we'll start chopping down now, why not? That should give us a lot more, because they are the proper trees that you should be logging. They really are. Deers everywhere. So we may as well start cutting it down and making it into movable pieces, let's say. And it'll give a good indication as well of what one tree will give us, because we'll try and drag the whole tree. If we cut it into like 4 pieces, it is quite tall, and I think it should give us a good indication of how much each one will give us. That didn't fall. Let's get rid of the stump. And we probably need to then just, I'd say, try and chop some of it, because it's not falling down. And then we need to move out of the way. Whoa! Tell you what, that'd hurt in real life. But look at the size of that. That is massive. This has got to give us a lot more than we just received. So I'd say probably, in all fairness, we'll do that one because it is quite long. There we go. We've lost a bit of it, but it'll be alright. So what we want to do is, I'd say, move along from the rear, because obviously we can't reverse. It's the one thing you have to worry about, is reversing. So I'd say if we try and keep it the same distance, we should be alright here. So be on that one. That'll be fine there. Be on that one. And then I think we're good then for all of them. So they kind of winch together from the first winch as well, so you've got to keep that in mind. And it isn't easy, but it's helpful. And this tractor, in all fairness, is pulling these without an issue. Let's take this one as well. There we go. So you can see at the middle point here, this is the first one. So that first one makes a difference. I mean, that there's just completely the wrong side, but it'll do. So let's see if we can get this through the gate. I don't know if we will. It might like straighten up again. Hopefully it will. It is pulling it, but there is a bit of swing on it, as you can see. But we got it through. It does straighten out, so obviously as you drive as well, it makes things a lot better. What are you doing over there? Come over here. Let's see if we can just slightly drag that out. I think that's spot on. Let's see what happens here. So shift B again, and let's see what we can sell. £2,000. There you go. You can't complain at that. Just for the one tree. So 5 trees, we're getting about 10 grand. Maybe a bit more. We're already at 3,700. So we can start actually looking at maybe salvage, because salvage is really good money. and it's coming up to that time when February the grass will start growing again. So it is, we can focus on it. You know what I could just do? Just push that with that one. There we go. Sell that. Sell that. There you go. So 4,200. We need to start looking, I'd say, for at least a wrapper or some form of pickup wagon. Because if we can pick up a, the grass from the ground, we can start making salvage. We need to look at that. So what I'm just going to quickly do is look at the actual cost of some of this stuff so we can get an idea of where to go. So first things first, the next step would be a wrapper. We've got everything else. 22,000 there. That looks like it's the cheapest one, which is a lot of money. Whereas we can probably get, I'd say, a forage wagon, and it would be so much easier. 30,000 is the cheapest there. It's unfortunate because there used to be some really cheap, like reasonably priced, obviously small, even smaller than this one, I'd say. But there were some really good mods out on FS19 where you could buy them for like 5,000, and they were like, you could tell they were aged models and really good models at that. But that would have done us because we spend what 5,000 and then buy a pit. Now let's just have a look at this of some of the bunker mods I've got, which is going to be in buildings, maybe silos. So these are too expensive for what we need. There's a 10,000 one there that looks pretty good. But there is one that is just this, 4,200 for a small silo, 6,000. I mean, if we get into that, I'd probably get the 10,000 one. But, I mean, if we had a reasonably priced, look at the size of that, it's massive. Yeah, if we had a reasonably priced pickup wagon, then we'd probably go down that route. But I think we might have to aim for the wrapper. Because then at least we can do wrap silage bales, wait for them to ferment, and try and take them all in one go in January. And if we can also get some equipment to start doing some crop, but I mean, to do that we're going to need a harvester, we're going to need probably a plough. In fact, I don't think the field needs ploughing, but we'll just check its condition. So we need this one. So it's harvested, as you can tell. It needs rolling. It does need lime, but it doesn't need ploughing. So we'd need to spread lime. We need to roll. Now, we don't have to do that. I'd say the minimum we want to be doing is spreading fertilizer. So I'd say the least we need is a cultivator, a fertilizer spreader, and a planter, and then a harvester, which is a lot of money. It really is. I mean, I'd say grass silage bales are definitely going to be our aim. Best direction anyway, at least. So let's just have a quick look at some cultivators. I mean, I know there is a few mods now that I've collected, like that are reasonably priced. That's only 12,000, but I think I might have something a bit cheaper than that. There's a 2,500 one there. £100. Look at that. That'll do the job. We could buy that now. £100 for a cultivator. So that's not a problem at all. Then we probably need a planter. Or a seeder, should I say, sorry. And is there any seeder options? I can't remember if I found any reasonable mods. There's a £10,000 one there, which is pretty good. A £7,000, so that's 7,100 already. So that's not bad at all. And then maybe a fertilizer spreader. Anything cheap in here? There's one there, 950. This is actually looking to be quite reasonably priced. So that with that we would have cultivated, planted, sprayed fert, spread fert, and roller. I've got a £750 roller here. So we could even roll for probably less money now than getting a wrapper. The only problem is the harvester. I can't lease anything out, but I know I've found some mods that have been on the reasonably priced end. Like 24,000 isn't too far, we could get that. But then this is the one that I found. Really nice old school Ford 642 or 622 combine. And I have to say, I love this. I think it's brilliant. Design open. You can have a cab version that's no extra cost. And yeah, I mean, for what we can do, I think this is spot on. Look at it. It's pretty perfect. 15,000 as well. So I think we could actually go down that route and save money than getting just one wrapper. We could get all the fieldwork equipment and save money than a wrapper. How crazy is that? That is pretty mental. Maybe it is the route to take. But first, before we do anything, we're going to need to at least... I'd say we're going to need to at least try and generate 30,000 here from this. Chop some trees down, get 30 grand, and I think we'll be good to go. So let's chop a couple down, see if we can take more. Is this one going to stay as well? It looks like it is. Let's do it from there. Then remember to move out the way quickly. There we go. So what I'll do is I'll get this done, these 2 trees, and we'll have a look how much we get as I'm dragging them through. Right, so I have got quite a few here. I'm going to try and winch these in just to see if it makes things a little bit easier. I don't know if it'll winch very well. But I was thinking if I try and pull them closer to me, it might make driving with them, because I've got 2 full trees here. I'm hoping this will turn out some good cash. I mean, I am torn now, because I know grass silage turns over a lot of money, but I would like to get on to having the equipment to start doing arable. I mean, in the perfect world, we'd be doing both. And we could probably generate the money. If anyone sees a reasonably priced wrapper, let me know, and then we can start doing both. But I think £22,000 for that wrapper is just extremely expensive, when we can buy pretty much all the equipment we need to start doing some arable work. And I think it's a no-brainer. Right, so let's do this, and we can start selling some of this wood. That's 1,300 already. Nice. So I've unfortunately chopped these up again. But, pieces we can manoeuvre. I mean, it'd be perfect if I could just use my brain a bit here and try and push these. There we go, that worked. So really what we need to do is just push them, don't we? 2,200 for that. Oh, last one. Don't think I can pick that up. Let's try and chop it in half, see if that works. Yep. So we're already at 8,500 from 3 trees. 8,700. Happy days. This is probably one of the best purchases I've made yet. Then again, I do like this John Deere. We have also got the strawberries though to top us up. I think each pallet's 500, so we've probably got, I'd say, about 3,000 litres there. So let's just have a quick look at the price of strawberries. We've made a good dent into that though. I mean, we could already put a shed if we needed to. Maybe the bunker could go in here if we do go down that route at some point as well. But yeah, let's have a quick look at the price of strawberries. So £278. So we're going to be looking at like just under £1,000, aren't we? I'd say around £1,000 for the amount that we've got, which is an extra grand. So we're just under 10 grand already. I mean, I think that for this one episode is pretty good going, but I'll keep working on this. I don't want to do too much logging in this episode, but I'll keep working on it. I might tackle this one because this will take a bit longer because of the branches. And I'll try and branch out a bit, maybe do 3 or 4 more, and we'll see where we're at with money. I'll also keep a lookout for some reasonably priced wrappers, and I think then we're going to be in good stead for the next month, which is February, when the grass starts growing back. We can start doing some grass work. Ideally, the perfect scenario for us to progress on the farm and start getting some much better equipment would be to have all the arable equipment for us to start off pretty small on that front, and then also do some grass silage, even in a pit or in a baler. But I even need a reasonably priced pickup wagon or a reasonably priced wrapper to get that done. So I'll keep my eye out. I'll get on a mod hunt and see what I can find. I don't even know how to pronounce that, but I'm just going to say I really like this winch, this log winch. But on that note, I'm going to leave the video there. So thanks for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. If you have, please give it a thumbs up because that really does help my channel out. And if you're new, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more videos just like this one on Farming Simulator.